best offensive season in 2017.
As a multi-tool player, you don't see a lot of college guys who are, maybe 4 or 5 tools, relaxed a little bit more this year and started to show the tools that made him a third-round pick out of Michigan a few years ago.
Nice catch over there by O'Neill.
Pretty nifty play.
Not a lot of people know, but I actually tore my labrum my senior year of high school. So I was actually preparing to go out of high school, and that injury basically made the decision for me. There's some uncertainty with labrum surgery as if you're going to come back the same player, or is it going to re-tear or whatnot. So you kind of learn how to handle adversity at a young age.
Like his famous Uncle Paul, known for being a guy who's very hard on himself, and I just think there was a lot of pressure as a third-round pick, and it's the Yankees, it's the organization your uncle was a star for.
The best thing, hands down, is just having a resource of someone that's won 5 World Series rings in the biggest market in sports. His baseball IQ is as high as anybody's. Anytime I'm struggling, I know he's there for me. The toughest thing about being his nephew was when I was in New York. Everybody used to ask me, do you want to wear 21? Why don't you wear 21? I'm my own person, I'm my own player. Like, I'm either gonna make it on my own or I'm not gonna make it. Being in Texas, like, people still ask about it, which I have no problem answering the questions, but it's not every day.
That felt great for Michael O'Neill. Laced toward the gap in left center field. Cut off nicely by Acuna. Here's the throw. So it's a double for O'Neill.
And O'Neill didn't hesitate. I'll be honest, that was one where I actually started to write single to left field on my scorecard.
My teammates in Texas, there's some guys that still don't know he's my uncle. Some guys late in August in Frisco were like, wait a minute, Paul O'Neill's your uncle? I'm like, yeah, he's my uncle.
In some ways, maybe getting out of the Yankees organization where you don't have that legacy there made things easier for him, because scouts I talked to thought he was more relaxed this year, and you start to see those tools play more.
Trade deadline came around, the Yankees acquired some other outfielders, and it just looked like it was time for me to become an organizational guy as a 24-year-old, and I personally didn't think I was ready for that. And I just approached the Yankees and just said, you know what, I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. Would you allow me to seek another opportunity? It was risky. There was no opportunity waiting for me. There was a 6-8 week period of time where my phone didn't ring one day, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, oh man, did I make the right move? And finally, a week before spring training started, Texas Rangers called me and just said, hey, we have an opportunity for you. I'm very fortunate that Texas has allowed me to continue my career. I feel like in New York, I was always asking for help, which is never a bad thing, but at some point you have to take ownership and you have to understand what you're trying to do in the box to be successful. And I feel like finally in my career, like, I'm at that stage.